House Speaker Kevin McCarthy has announced an impeachment inquiry into Biden after facing immense pressure from the House's far-right Freedom Caucus. Last week, Matt Gaetz threatened to force a vote on ousting McCarthy if he stands in their way on impeachment. However, even after this impeachment inquiry announcement, it looks like McCarthy is still hanging on to his speakership by a thread. McCarthy brushed off Matt's remarks, saying he's not at all worried and that Matt's just being Matt. But do you think his slowly complying with the Freedom Caucus's demands shows that he fears his speakership is in jeopardy? Comment your thoughts.
Yes, this is very important. I got the full details. President Biden White House is planning to send a letter to some of the country's most prominent news organizations, including CNN, the New York Times, and Fox News, urging them to ramp up their scrutiny of House Republicans for opening an impeachment inquiry based on lies. I have a couple of videos I'm going to play so you can see exactly what is going on here. Yes, if you have not subscribed to this channel, please endeavor us to do that, and if possible, please share out this video.
Evidence, though, I just have to say, I mean, we do have bank records, devices, laptops, travel records, changes in administration policy. Seems like pretty strong evidence to me.
None of which links President Biden to.
Well, it was Joe Biden on the phone.
None of which.
He was calling into the meetings. But, Abby, are you actually trying to tell your viewers that you don't believe that Joe Biden was involved in Hunter Biden's business deals?
It's not
a
about
hard case.
It's not about what I believe. It's about whether there is evidence that President Biden is linked to the misdeeds that might be linked to Hunter Biden. That's the issue. But I want to get back.
I do want to. I mean, come on. Wait, hold on. Can you just acknowledge that when he calls into the business deals that he's involved? When he calls into the dinners, you don't think that's involvement?
First of all, this is not about innuendo. It's not about what I believe. It's a question. Do you have evidence? If you had evidence that Joe Biden was linked to Hunter Biden's business deals in a way that is illegal, we wouldn't be having this conversation. You would probably have the votes for an impeachment inquiry, but you don't because of people like Ken Buck and people like Don Bacon and many others in your conference.
Well, I see the evidence differently. I think that that's why we need to have the votes and have the debates and have the hearings. And again, they represent their constituents just like I represent mine, even in...
Yes, taking a look at what is going on, I believe you heard him. Democrats are bringing this and even spreading on social media that they don't have evidence. Even Karine came today and repeated this same talking point.
On impeachment, you just mentioned House Republicans' baseless claims. How confident are you that there will be no evidence that incriminates President Biden and Hunter's business dealings as this goes forward?
So let me just give a little bit of a lay down here because I think it's important. Any specifics to the inquiry, certainly I want to say this at the top, as I said to Darlene, I'm going to refer you to my colleagues at the counsel's office. But I also want to be clear about a couple of things. You know, I just talked about Bidenomics. I just talked about what the president's going to do tomorrow, really deliver a major speech, something that the American people want to hear about. What are we doing to improve their lives, work on the economy? And these are real issues, real priorities for Americans. And like I said, like lowering costs. But what you see Republicans in Congress, right, they have spent all year investigating the president. That's what they've spent all year doing. And have turned up with no evidence, none, that he did anything wrong. I mean, that is what we've heard over and over again from their almost year-long investigation. And with that, folks...
Can you explain why the president interacted with so many of his son's foreign business associates? More than half of voters told CNN they believe the president was involved and he lied. You can't have a response to that, Karine?
Yes, I have never seen this before. Why are these people demanding the mainstream media to follow a particular narrative? It is insane to me to actually do this. You cannot allow the media to cover what is going on. You are instructing them to follow up what you think. I don't know if this is right. I think I'll read this article so you can actually understand exactly what the Biden administration is doing. Yes, when you take a look at this article, House Speaker Kevin McCarthy on Tuesday ordered an impeachment inquiry into the president's alleged involvement in his son Hunter Biden's foreign business deals. Through our investigation, we have found that President Biden did lie to the American people about his own acknowledge of his family foreign business dealings. The speaker charged, claiming that this allegation paint a picture of a culture of corruption. In, in a draft letter to news executive obtained by CNN Tuesday, a spokesperson for the White House Counsel Office said the inquiry has no supporting evidence which should set off alarm bells for news organizations. However, the massive has raised eyebrows over concerns about the White House dictating editorial direction. This is not okay. Journalist Matthew Keys tweeted the White House should not be encouraging, influencing, or interfering in the editorial strategy of American newsroom, including CNN and the New York Times. He continued, now anytime the media does try to hold Republican lawmakers account, those lawmakers can simply counter by questioning whether it is actually journalism or something encouraged by the Biden administration. All this demonstrates is that the Biden administration has lost confidence in the news media, which I guess mirror public sentiment over the last few years too. Some is expected to send a letter to executives at CNN, the New York Times, Fox News, the Associated Press, and CBS News, a White House source told CNN. The problem is they are trying to influence coverage. The problem is they are trying to influence coverage. Keys concluded the government should never do that. It is inappropriate. In the draft letter to news executives, some will ask the news executive to not fall prey to the notion of false equivalency, covering impeachment as a process story. Republicans say X, but the White House says it is a direct device to the American public who relies on the independent press to hold those in power accountable. In the modern media environment where everyday liars and huckster pattern disinformation and lies everywhere from Facebook to Fox News, process stories that fall to unpack the legitimacy of the claims on which House Republicans are basing all their actions, always safe to generate confusion, put false premises in people's feet, and obscure the truth. Some had earlier tweeted on Tuesday, will anyone ask Speaker Kevin McCarthy why an impeachment inquiry is the next logical step?
Bobby, this is what Steve Bannon calls flooding the zone. Just throw it out there to confuse everybody.
Well, but that's what they always do.
Yeah.
That's what they always do.
The people of this country need to know that the Republicans are on the same page as Vladimir Putin, who said everything that is happening with Trump is the persecution of a political rival for political reasons. That is exactly what the Republican, the MAGA wing, of course, of the Republican Party is saying. They are in sync with Vladimir Putin, who is the most evil person